What is going on, you guys? Just wanted to hop on here and say, the last story I just put out talking about you either make the time or you make the excuse. And it's so real because I think that we all have the same 24 hours. Not I think, like I know, as all of you should, like we all have the same 24 hours. Elon Musk has the same 24 hours as, the person that's sitting on their couch all day. But the thing is, they make the choice, the active, conscious decision, to make better use of their time. And so you need to be more efficient. You need to be more on top of the things that are most important to you, because truly, if you don't make time for something, then you just don't prioritize that enough. Like, I find myself, even as a coach, that I'm not having a lot of time to make time for my workouts. Really stupid as that sounds to say, like, I constantly am like, I don't even have time to work out today. Like, I need to make the time, right? Like, we make the time for the things that are most important to us. And so if you don't have, enough time to fit something in, then you just need to sacrifice something else, or you need to be more on top of things. I know it seems super cliche, but if you're on your phone scrolling, if you're on YouTube watching videos, if you're listening to music, all of these things are, taking up your time and therefore taking up your life. And if you want things that you don't have, you need to allocate time into other avenues of your life. So like for me, dude, what the heck, that ball was crazy. For me, it's like, I need to make time for the things that are most important to me. I'm trying to squeeze in every last drop into like making sure I read the book that I'm on top of, right? Making sure that I read the Bible, making sure I have time to like devote to the Lord, like making sure that I have time to get my workout in, to work on my clients' programs, to do client check-in calls, to work on strategy calls with oncoming clients. Like, all of these things are taking up time. Plus I have to put out long form YouTube videos. Plus I have to put out Instagram reels. But I have to do all these things for my business. I also have to do these things for my finances, for my fitness. I had to go to the bank earlier. Like, all these things consume up time. And next thing you know, it's like, I don't have time for the thing. And that's, I think, very common and very often the reason that we don't achieve the goals we say we want for ourselves, because we don't put enough time into, actually prioritizing it, right? Like, truly none of us have time. But like, how is it that people that are successful actually achieve their goals? Well, they just allocate time differently than you do. And that just means that if you want something that you don't have, you need to devote more time to it, to getting better, learning the skills, putting the time and putting the effort, energy into learning how to do these things. Like for me, I spent so many hours when I was younger working out, working on fitness, my nutrition, my training, etc. And I would be in the gym for 2, 3, 4 hours a day, like where most kids, when they were, my age, or most people in college when they were my age, were out partying. Not to say I didn't do any of that, but most of my time I was working on learning these things. So now, at my age now, I'm able to be a lot more efficient with these things, right? But I think this is why a lot of people don't get into the shape they want. They don't achieve their fitness goals or any goals that they set out for themselves. They might struggle with because they don't make enough time to put into it. And like, fortunately for myself, I put countless hours in when I was, in the past, when I first started my journey, that now I'm a lot more efficient with these things, and I don't have as much time because I'm running a fitness business and I don't have enough time to put into all the education I would love to learn and all the implementation I love. But I'm doing some work, and that some work is so much more efficient than the other people because I've spent a lot of time in the past, right? But it's like, I simply, like, had I not started my fitness journey now, I definitely would be struggling to find the time to work out. But what I would do in this situation is I would just invest into a coach, right? Like, and this is why I invested into a fitness coach, because there are still more things that I want to learn. So like, I have a fitness coach that helps me expedite the process, right? And like, this is why I have a business coach, because there are so many hours in the day that I would love to be devoting to learning how the business works, how to do everything perfect, but I simply just don't have more than 24 hours, just like the rest of you guys. So I allocate my time, my money, my resources into people that have already done these things and specialize in them so that I can, get the results. Because like, truly, like, if I could do all this stuff on my own, I would love to, but I just simply don't have enough time. And I also don't know exactly what to do in every avenue of my life, right? Just like with my faith, like the reason I'm in a Bible study, I'm going to church is because my faith is the most important thing to me, but also I don't know everything about the Bible. Like, as much as I read the Bible every day, like, I don't know everything about what's in the Word, and I need to know these things if I want to live a life of truth, faith, right? Fruits, fruit bearing, however you want to term it. But truly, like, and I'm driving as I record this to the gym. But really, like, people just don't find the time for things. And like, you make the time. Like, we can't just make time. I should say, like, we emphasize whatever is most important. And so like you need to find out what's most important, and you might have to sacrifice certain things. You might have to sacrifice going out with friends, you know, going to the bar, doing whatever. You might have to sacrifice going on dates with girls. Like, I don't know, if you're a girl watching, you might have to sacrifice time spending with your husband, with your boyfriend. Like, if there's something that's more important, and maybe not, maybe you do want to have that balance. Maybe you do want to be able to, you know, enjoy yourself and not be 24/7 stressed. But if you're trying to amount to a certain level and you're trying to achieve big things, then you need to know you need to sacrifice things, right? Like, I have to sacrifice, you know, watching sports as much as I'd love to watch sports, because I'd rather read books and help myself grow into the person I want to become, right? I have to sacrifice, you know, going out with friends and making plans to do things, because I have priorities with my business. I have clients to help. I have people that are trying to get into their ideal physique, and I have to put them first over my own desires, my selfish desires, right? Like in the Bible, it says, like, put others first, right? Like, don't be selfish and doing what you want to do. So like, truly, like, helping more people is going to bring you that sense of fulfillment. But where I want to get from this video, really, you guys, is, you know, you guys understand that you need to make the time. And that might mean that in a seesaw analogy, you have to cut out certain things so that one side of the seesaw can tip up higher, so that the other one doesn't tip to do, doesn't stay balanced. Like, you ultimately want a seesaw where the most important necessary tasks are getting done. And if you don't have time for it, it's just simply a matter that you don't make the time. So make the time for the things that are most important to you, and you'll notice that you actually can achieve a lot more than you thought possible. There are people out there that are doing way more than you, and that's just because they've done, you know, the work to become more efficient with these things, but they've also done a lot less that you've done in terms of other things. So for example, they're probably not out socializing, partying quite as much, or at all, right? Like, they're probably not watching TV, they're probably not sleeping in as much, they're not doing these things because they have other important tasks. And for you, you know, sitting around the house, you know, going out, enjoying, traveling, doing these things, like, might be important to you. But if you have things that you haven't accomplished in your life, it's just a matter of you haven't given enough time to it. And if you realize that you're struggling in a certain aspect of your life and you're trying to improve it, you need to understand how you can isolate it so that the most important tasks, the non-negotiable priorities, are checked off the box, and the rest, if they get done, they get done. But like, they aren't that important, so just leave them be. And you need to just decide which is most important for you. So I'm gonna go get a workout in. See you guys in the next one, and I hope that you guys, you know, got some value from that video. It's gonna be a story, but I think I'm gonna just post it as a reel. So I'll see you guys in the next one.